Hey, what's up guys? Got a little EDC update for you. Some things have changed and some things I'm loving. So I wanted to talk about it a little bit. First of all, yesterday I retired the Spyderco worker from EDC use. Never snapped the tip off, thank God. In the end, I stopped babying it. I used it as I normally would use a knife. And with cardboard and stuff, it's been fine. No issues at all. Never cut any zip ties with this. Occasionally at work, I'll take out my knife and cut some different zip ties or plastic straps, and I never chanced it with that, but with everything else I threw at it, it's been fine. So it's actually a great little EDC knife. But that is now retired. I want to show you that in its place. Starting today, start carrying the Benchmade bone collector. So I haven't had a Benchmade in my rotation in quite some time, so I wanted to do something different, and I started carrying this bone collector. So that's my main blade, front right pocket. And as you can see, tip up, which is very nice. I don't know why a lot of Benchmades are tipped down. But yeah, been carrying this, love this knife. It's, as you know, I recently saw in a video, I was watching Gavco and Tough Thumbs, shooting the crap about some knife stuff. Cool videos, I like watching, of course, people talking about knives. We all do it anyway. If any knife people get together, you should just throw on the camera and record that crap because people love hearing it. And I think Jeff basically said it's a Griptilian with G10, and I would agree. In many ways it is. It's a Griptilian and G10, so good observation there, Jeff. Alright, so yeah, that's my main blade, and you will see a review eventually after I get a lot of use on it and stuff. Of course, still carrying the Browse Blades Silent Soldier, and so much use on this knife. It's actually starting to dull up. I have to touch it up today. It's past stropping. I have to actually sharpen it again. But what a fantastic knife. And as a lot of you guys have seen, there's going to be a production version of this for probably like 30 bucks. So stay tuned for that information. Very, very cool. I believe Blade HQ has a video talking about that, some SHOT Show info. But very, very cool. So if you were interested in this but never wanted to fork over 100 bucks for it or so, wait for the production version. You might like it just as much. Very, very cool knife. Of course, the iPhone, just went over this not too long ago, showed you that really cool app. Love the Magpul case, and as far as the phone itself, I enjoy it. It's a cool phone. So, no issues at all. I actually like it a little bit better now than the 3GS, just for the overall shape being kind of squared off. It's cool. I like it. No issues or complaints. Keys. I've been using this modular system since I got the other job, and basically I actually have another set of keys. These are for work. And that's when I am working, I'll use the S-Beaner. But most of the time, I have my keys split now into two different sections. Now I use this little crab claw so I can quickly detach my house keys from my car keys. All right, also I got another set of car keys, so I have my originals in my house. I don't want to ever lose them or have any issues, so I have a spare set that works great, and that's what I'll be using, on the road. As far as tools under my keys, all I have is the Spyderco Bug, which still does get use occasionally. I'll break it out, not because I need it. I always have knives on me, but just because it's fun, and I actually keep this nice and razor sharp. And people always like it when they say it. They go, oh, that's a cool little knife, what is that? And I explain to them, and usually they don't really care. It's nice they ask, but then if anyone who's not really into knives asks a knife guy, oh, that's a cool knife, what's that? And then you go on, and they're like, geez, sorry I even asked. They really just don't care. They're interested for about 5 seconds, and then you start talking about blade steels and stuff, and they're like, whatever, dude, I sorry I asked you. But it does get quite a bit of attention. But I like this because sometimes I'll leave the house, and I won't be using my car. If I'm taking a walk somewhere or someone's giving me a ride somewhere, I don't need my car keys, so why bring them with me? It's just get a chance of losing them, plus it's more bulk. And as far as my stores, food stores, I have these on my keys, which I never used to like on the keys, for the discount stuff, and me being a club member. But, what the heck, why not? I started carrying it, and I like it. Plus at Home Depot, I got this cheesy thing, which I think is cool. It's okay to admit sometimes you like cheesy stuff, and it's pretty neat. So, yeah, everything else is the same. So that's the keys. And I like this. By the way, having a modular system like this is great for the morning, in particular, being in the Poconos. In the wintertime, it's freezing. We got snow again yesterday. And I need to warm my car up in the morning and clean off all the snow and stuff. So what I'll do is I will take my car keys off, go start the car, and then come inside so that when I leave the house, I can still lock the door and have my keys in the car while it's running. So it makes sense for me. And I just like the system. It works perfectly. I'll probably always have something very similar to this. And these crab claws are very, very sturdy. Very good spring action on this, so I'm not afraid of it breaking off or, you know, losing one set. So key setup's been great. As far as flashlight, still have my spotlight. I love this thing. It's getting a heck of a lot of wear. I have to change the battery soon. I will do a review on this pretty soon. People have been interested in it. It's a double AAA light. Of course, the head adjusts or focuses the beam, very similar to a mag light. So you have all throw or all flood. And I like it in the flood mode because it gives me a nice even beam and there's no artifacts or anything. It's really, really cool. Very simple. And there are different modes as well. All right. High, low, or high, medium, low, and then strobe, obviously. So it's actually a really great functional pen light. I've been carrying, I usually have my main blade, okay, in my right hand pocket. And then what I'll do is I will carry this with the clip next to my blade. And I have not found any problems with this. Generally speaking, when I carry like this, I don't put stuff in my front right pocket. If I have like receipts or something just loose that I get throughout the day, I'll put it in my jacket pocket, like on the inside or the outside, or use my my left pocket. Because when I have a knife and a flashlight on the right-hand side, it makes my pocket a lot smaller to actually access things in there. So usually I don't have anything. Occasionally I have the trolley changer on the bottom there, but it kind of renders the pocket unuseful besides what's already in there. I can't just use it, you know, for daily stuff. But what I've been doing is on a lot of my pants, the fifth pocket has been big enough to also carry a multi-tool, a large multi-tool. And the combination of a full-size folding knife, this pen light, and the multi-tool has been perfect. It covers a lot of different needs, you know, main blade, obviously light, and then all the tools in here. The two biggest tools that most of you guys use, including myself, this particular one has scissors, so I do use the scissors in this. This is the Leatherman wingman. And the pliers are huge. Now the biggest thing about this multi-tool, which I love, and on some days I nixed, well before this I nixed the worker and had this as my main knife because it has a pocket clip. And the orientation is pocket clip in the pocket like this. Our main blade's right here, it's a liner lock. So what I'll do is I will retrieve the tool like this overhand, okay, and then my thumb is ready on that opening slot to get to the main blade. So I use this as my main folding knife. A couple days, I liked it. It was okay. It's not something I'll permanently do. This blade comes ridiculously sharp out of the box, but you can use this as your main knife. I can't tell you how cool it is to have a pocket clip on a multi-tool. It just makes me carry them more. I can't stress that enough. Most of you guys out there, you have multi-tools, you carry them in a sheath and on your side. If you don't carry a gun, it's not an issue. Because you have, you know, if you're righty, you put it on your right hand side, it's always there, it's no big deal. But when you start carrying a gun, and in my case, I've been carrying 2 guns lately, you start getting a little bit of bulk, and you don't have room comfortably to start having things on your belt large like this, particularly because of the weight. So having a pocket clip is huge. I can't tell you, I've been carrying this every single day. I went from having a Leatherman Micro back in the day, upgrading to a Leatherman PS4 Squirt. Then I upgraded to the Leatherman Juice. They kept getting bigger and bigger, and now Leatherman Wingman is perfect. And I can carry this every single day. The weight's not an issue for me at all. I've never been, you know, I never had a huge problem with a lot of weight, unless you're talking about just your main blade being massive, because then it kind of swings in the pocket. But this going in your fifth pocket is very close to your hip, and it's very tight in the pocket. All right, and the pocket clip, it just makes it extra secure. So besides having a pocket clip and actually allowing me to carry this more often, which is fantastic, I like how both the scissors and the blade are accessible from the outside, and they both have their liner locking tools. All right, I did have issues with the scissors. You have to kind of open them hard to make sure that locks, otherwise you get that. All right, so sometimes I have to give them a little bit of a pull. That liner lock does not engage. This spring does not lock in place so that it gets stuck together and actually will not spring open. Okay, so then you have to kind of manually use it, which is not how it's meant to be used. But once they're locked open, they're awesome, awesome scissors and very, very useful. But I like how they're accessible from the outside. My two most used tools besides the pliers themselves, I want to be accessible from the outside. I don't want to have to open the multi-tool every single time I need to get to something that I want to use. Also, a huge bonus besides having a pocket clip is that this is a spring-loaded plier system. All right, it's a minor detail, but I think if my memory serves me with all different models I've had through Leatherman, this is probably the first spring-loaded model that I've had from them, and I really like it. it really comes in handy to not have to change your grip each time, you know, and pull those back apart. So spring-loaded pliers and the pocket clip, total win for me. If nothing else, that would make the tool. But the fact that everything else falls in place, this is, and by the way, not one of the most expensive ones either. Very affordable, Leatherman wingman. So definitely worth looking into. I will do a full review when the time comes when I have a little more use on this thing. But it's been perfect in combination with a pen light and a full-size blade. So besides that, I've also changed my wallet. At Christmas time, I had a friend, my friend Laura, very cool of her to get me this as a present, actually as my birthday present, I believe. And it's a big skinny wallet. And what's funny is that when I got this present, when I opened it, literally the day before I got it, I saw a video on YouTube on the big skinny wallet, as well as someone sending me a message telling me I should check it out. I watched the video and I thought, oh, that's cool, whatever, I like my wallet, I don't need a new one. And then I opened this as a present. I thought it was so cool. I can attest to the fact that this literally, I have all the same stuff in my wallet that I used to have in my wallet, and going from a leather bifold to this big skinny bifold, which is basically just a super thin nylon style material. I don't know exactly what it is, but it literally cut the bulk of my wallet in half. So it does exactly what it's advertised to do, and it shrinks your wallet down with the same amount of crap in there. I turn my license around and everything, but you can see here it's got a clear window, a couple card holders on the left-hand side, pockets on the inside like that. One thing I did find, there's like a separator if you want to keep like receipts on one side or large bills on one side, skinny on the other. I found it a little bit difficult at first to put the bills in this because the material, excuse me, is so thin, and this divider is extremely thin. A lot of the times it wanted to fold down on me and my bills would stick out. So after a while, I kind of got used to it. When you put bills, and you see I'm loaded here. When you put bills in here, what I'll do is I have to kind of open it up like this and then kind of push it down just like so. Otherwise, if I just take one hand like quickly at a register and try to shove them in there, it gets all bunched up and stuff. So that's the only con with this wallet so far. But you can get a hang of putting your bills in there. It's perfect. And I'm not kidding when I tell you this thing is literally half as fat as my wallet used to be, and I have the exact same contents in it. So if you're ever interested in this and wonder if it really makes your wallet skinnier, it does. And because I've had the skinnier wallet, what I've been doing is I've been carrying this in my left back pocket, which I've never done in my life. I've always had a wallet carried in my right back pocket, right? It's just what guys do, a lot of guys. And sure, some guys, they carry it in your front pocket, some guys carry it in a bag. I guess some of you, if you're lefty, maybe you carry it in your left pocket. But I've been carrying this in my left-hand pocket now because I've been carrying my Kel-Tec in my right-hand pocket as a backup gun. No holster. I carry it in condition 3. All right, so right now you can see there's nothing in here, nothing in the chamber. Obviously no magazine in here. And I carry this in my back pocket in condition 3, so I don't have to worry about a holster or anything like that. It's completely safe for me to carry it that way. The one issue, which should be obvious with carrying any pocket gun in your pocket with an exposed mag release, is that, of course, especially being under your butt, if you're sitting on it, occasionally the pressure, even through a layer of material like your pants, will pop that mag release and disengage your magazine. So I'm very conscious of this. If I ever had to take this gun out, the first thing I would do, and I kind of drain this dry without the ammo in my mag, is when I retrieve the gun, because even though once the mag release is popped and it's disengaged, there's still enough pressure in here where it doesn't want to just fall out. It's still kind of tight up until this point right here, then it's loose. So even though it's not completely engaged, and if I were to pull the slide back, I wouldn't have a misfeed, it would not function properly, it has to be locked in. What I do is when I retrieve the gun from the pocket, the first thing I do is a tap to make sure it's locked in perfectly. Whether this is popped or not, it's just part of my thing. It would be a tap rack kind of drill. And that would get me one in the chamber and ready to go. Now this is just a backup option. Is it necessary to carry 2 guns? No, not at all. Why do I do it? Because I can. Between this wallet and this gun, they're both about the same thickness when it's in the pocket. They feel about the same, and it kind of evens out my butt cheeks. So I'm sitting down, I don't feel just a wallet pushing up. It's very even and very comfortable. I do it just because I can. There's no real reason why or why not. As far as the main gun, you guys have seen it before. The Taurus 617, it's a 7-shot 357 Magnum. I love this gun. I can't believe it. A lot of people give Taurus a bad rap. I've never had a semi-automatic Taurus. I've heard bad things about them before. I've heard good things. Pretty much every gun on the planet There's going to be people who have good experiences with them and bad experiences with them. And although revolvers are preferred because they're more reliable, revolvers also malfunction. Sometimes the timing on your cylinder is off. Sometimes you'll have a bad primer. Just because you have a revolver does not mean it's going to go bang every time you pull the trigger. A lot of people have this concept that, you know, this will always work. It might work more often, just like some people may say Glocks are better than, I don't know, 1911s because they work more often. Well, it depends on your experience. There's been Glocks that jam, there's been 1911s that never jam. There's been revolvers that have problems, there's been revolvers that never have problems. Every single gun is susceptible to malfunction. Okay, there's no perfect gun and there's no perfect solution. So even though I do have a revolver and I feel very confident in carrying a revolver, I still like having a second gun on my person, just in case. You never know. It's not something I always do, but lately I've been doing it a lot. So, you know, I'm getting some texts. I guess I'm popular. No, actually I have about, I think 3 people who text me. It's my work phone. So anyway, that's it with the gun. I love this. I've been practicing dry firing this. I have to get back to the range with this gun too. I gotta get some more ammo. I want to get some 38s. But shooting this double action, we'll check again, just make sure everything's unloaded and safe. Okay, nothing in the cylinder there. Shooting this double action, it's a long trigger pull. Okay, very heavy trigger pull. And I'm trying to keep as steady as possible. A lot of people do that little trick where you put a coin on top of the gun. Of course, I don't have any change on me right now. Trolley changer was not EDC today. But you put a coin on top of your gun, and you can see if you could shoot it in double action without dropping the coin off the top. Now, just if I can hold it here, you can kind of watch the top of the frame here, see how much it wiggles shooting double action. But the idea is that if your coin falls, it means you're jerking your trigger, or you're pulling too hard. It's a good way to train and dry fire. You can do this with live ammo as well at the range, but it is a long, heavy double action pull on this gun. Single action is very light. I really, really like it. It's actually very, very accurate. Even with this tiny little barrel, it's a very accurate gun. I would say for most close quarter shooting situations, it's going to be totally adequate. Some people think a gun like this shoots wild. It's ridiculous. It's all about you, the shooter. Doesn't really make a difference for most situations where you may or may not need a gun. So anyway, and of course I'm still carrying it in my Theis inside the waistband holster, which is wearing in quite nicely. It is marring up the gun, as I mentioned before, I believe in an old video. You could see some wear here on the cylinder. And that's just basically from the Kydex from rubbing. But I don't really care, doesn't make a difference to me. It's a bead blast finish on this. It's not a very expensive gun. Even if I had like a $1,500 Smith & Wesson or something, what difference does it make? I use my guns. Some people buy them to collect them. That's cool. If you're gonna buy a gun and hang on to it to make money on it, don't use it. Have it sit in a safe, oil it up, make it look pretty. But this is a gun I carry every day. I don't mind my guns getting beat up a little bit, as long as it's some honest wear. I wouldn't abuse them on purpose. As far as this Kel-Tec, this thing has been through the ringer. It's had so much lint over the years, and I mean you can see where it's actually it's pitted. The finish is scratched off, and I wipe this thing down and I clean it all the time. A lot of wear in this thing, but it works. Functions great. Since I've had this, I think I put about 250 rounds through it in total. It's not a gun. It's not a range gun. These small guns like this, after a certain amount of rounds that go through them, they become less and less reliable. Right? It's not a gun that you need to keep breaking in. All right? They're kind of built for short lifespans. They're not meant to shoot and shoot and shoot thousands of rounds. Okay, they start malfunctioning, having problems, and they do become less reliable. You want to make sure you put a bunch of ammo, specifically whatever carry ammo you're going to be using. Make sure it's going to run properly through your gun. The ammo I have for this is 380. Let's see what I got here. I did have some problems with some Spear Gold Dot through this gun. Let's see what I got here. I got Winchester. I think this is the Winchester Ranger, or the equivalent of the Ranger. I forget. I got these at Cabela's last time I went. But I put the rest of the box through this gun to make sure it's going to be reliable, and it does feed just fine. Some of these hollow points, they'll catch up on this feed ramp. All right, and then when you go to, you rack your slide to load a round, and what happens is that it stops right here because the tip of the hollow point will kind of get stuck on the bottom of the feed ramp, and you have to kind of tap it forward. You don't want that. For a carry gun, you want to make sure it's going to work flawlessly for you. So you always want to put a few rounds through your gun. Whatever gun it is, doesn't matter, you know, the size, make, anything like that. Whatever ammo you're carrying, make sure you go to the range and at least put a box or two through it. Make sure it's going to function properly. So that's pretty much it. That's been the EDC as of late. Oh, I almost forgot the watch. Yeah, so you guys know I reviewed this watch. It's very cool. It's got the James Bond factor, having the camera in there. It's got about an hour runtime, 1080p quality. In natural daylight, it actually has a very good video quality. It also has a night vision or infrared you know, version if the lighting's too dim. But originally I got it because I figured, you know, it's good for YouTube videos if I want to do something on the fly. But then I realized I got the cell phone. This makes, you know, decent quality videos. I don't need this for YouTube stuff. So I stopped wearing it for about a week or two. And then I put it back on, realizing that this is a great thing to just always have on you just in case. And I thought of different scenarios where it may really come in handy. Let's say you're in, I don't know, a bank. And all of a sudden, you know, 3 guys rush in the bank and they have masks on and guns exposed. And obviously they're robbing the bank. All right, whether you have a gun on you or not, if you have something like this, you can quickly turn it on when you see this this happening. And, you know, hopefully you can record some of this. If in the case that you do have to use your gun, but you have ample time beforehand to think about what you're going to do, which is probably rare. It's rare already that you might have to use your gun, and then even more rare that you're going to have time to think about it and or turn on a camera. But you know what? It's good to have. You never know the situation. Maybe you're in an aisle in the store and there's a shooter, you know, a public shooter. Or maybe there's a situation where you're arguing with someone. Maybe now's the time as you're arguing with them and you think, you know what, this is getting pretty heated. Turn on your camera. If that person, say, draws a weapon or draws a gun and fires at you first, at least even if you're not pointing at them, you'll have the audio. This would stand up, I think, in court as, you know, to help your case for self-defense. If you have audio documentation that you're discussing something, then it turns into an argument, and then all of a sudden, you know, they fire and you hear you screaming, you know, drop the gun, and then if you have to defend yourself and kill someone, it might help you out in court. It can't hurt anything to have some kind of footage and or audio combination for court purposes, for self-defense cases, or who knows what. Maybe you don't have a gun at all. This would be a great little thing in case you happen to witness a robbery, in case you happen to witness some kind of property damage. Who knows? There could be a plethora of different situations where it'd be nice to covertly film someone doing something wrong so you have proof of that. So just an idea. So I started wearing it again just in case. It's cool to have it. So that's pretty much it. Now I'm really going. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.